A quick update before we start the video. Got a ham y'all need to keep in your prayers on Vern 6, KV5SIX. He's got his YouTube channel, What's Up with 6. He's having a really bad bout with COVID right now. And he's hopefully getting better on the mend, but he's had a real rough time of it. So y'all keep in your prayers and get him so he can get back on the air good and get back doing POTA stuff. Good POTA operator, got a good YouTube channel. Hope you get feeling better, Vern. KB5 MIQ Big Boy. The rest of the video follows. Good evening, everybody. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy, an old ham radio cat up here being her usual self tonight. Well, guys, we got 2 or 3 things we're going to talk about today. Just some mainly social media issues. I wanted to remind y'all of the Cowtown Hamfests, January 20th and 21st. I had originally had it planned that I was going to attend it on Saturday. My dad's health has took a little turn for the worse, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it out there or not, but I'm still going to make every effort to. And got another tailgate sale coming up in April. I'm going to have a slide on it. I'll know the more particulars about it later, but the 4 States Amateur Radio Club, Texarkana, Texas, is going to do a tailgate sale tentatively planned for the 5th Saturday in April. And I'll have a location, times, and firm dates and everything on that in a later video. But that's good. I hadn't had one in a while, and I always like going to Texarkana's ham thing when I first got into it, and it has been a few years since they've had one. So looking forward to them getting into and getting involved in that, and looking forward to attending that. Okay, we're going to have a couple of things we're going to talk about here, mainly some social media stuff this week. Let's see. Well, I'm thinking about it. What happened? There we go. Okay, just a reminder, I'll put this slide on here and I'll peep it on here through this weekend. A free weekly live amateur radio extra class licensing course on Zoom will begin Thursday, January 12th, 2023. And will run through Thursday, March 23rd. There will be 11 sessions. The 3-hour sessions will start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sessions will be recorded for those attending should hold or be studying for the General Class Amateur Radio License. These are the classes we've been holding for years, sponsored by the National Electronics Museum. Please publicize this with anyone you think would be interesting. Those wishing to sign up should email roland.anders@comcast.net. I'm going to have a picture of this on back here, back of the video with the other slides. It's not a real good picture. If anybody has a problem reading the email, just shoot me an email and I'll email it to you. But that'd be a good way for people to start studying up. Okay, here's a good example. A lot of discussions in the ham world on how to get technician licensed hams to do more than just talk on repeaters. Below is a short list of things a tech can do with a license they already have. What did I miss? Things you can do with your tech license. Hilltop DX, 135 miles at 10,000 feet. That's a perfect example of what techs can do, because we did that even though we're all advanced or general and extra. But we did the same thing with talkies at the 2021 MENA Hamfest. WD5 HKV, Jeff, W5DLX, and myself. Jeff and I were on top of a 2,500 foot mountain in Arkansas with 5-watt Bofang talkies hooked to the three element homemade Yagi that the plans I've got to build. One of my other videos showed me building mine. And we talked on 5-watt simplex back to Cody in DeKalb, Texas on his 3-element Yagi held up by his hand out in the yard. So that's antenna experimenting, especially VHF antennas. They're super easy to build. Okay, APRS, asset tracking, messages, SMS messages, emails through WinLink. Satellite communication, amateur TV, voice, and data. Tropospheric ducting, weather bounce, that's all going to be VHF stuff. Microwave contesting, fixed, mobile, voice, data, RIDI, tropospheric tropospheric scatter. Mesh networks, voice, data, and internet. Radio control. higher power, more channels, transmitter hunts, repeaters, voice and digital modes, linked repeaters, QSO worldwide. You got Morse on several HF bands, contest, RAGQ, POTA, SOTA, reverse beacon net. Balloons, tracking, data, store and forward communication, moonbouts, 6 and 10 meter privileges, you talk to the world. Emergency comm groups, event communications, bike races, marathons, triathlons, air shows, antenna design, construction, and testing. And that's really good, that what all a tech can do if they want to get into this hobby a little deeper. And I highly recommend the techs try their best to get on 10 meters to at least get you some HF experience and get your general license, because if you can get on 10 and advance up to some other stuff, 17 meters, 20 meters, it'll ensure that you'll be interested in this hobby and stay in it for as long as you want to. Okay, what's a good economical 10 meter radio for technician use? Now, I've talked about this in some earlier videos a year or so ago. That's a $64 question. If you can afford a full up HF rig, buy one. And don't let anybody tell you not to do that. Oh, you're only a tech, you might be tempted to transmit on other bands. You've passed your license. You know the limitations of your license. You're not going to do that if you obey the rules like everybody does. My very first radio was a 701 HF rig. Never transmitted on nothing other than 10 meters between 28.3 and 28.5 as long as it worked. But if you buy a full up HF rig, it'll give you more incentive to think about going on into your general class. Don't let anybody talk you out of that. Several 10 meter mobile rigs out there. The main thing with a 10 meter mobile rig, and there's a lot of these glorified CBs that say 10 and 12 meter rig, those are made, in my opinion, to be real easy to convert into 11 meters. If you're going to use a mobile single band radio, you've got to ensure that it has upper sideband on it, because that's the band you'll be operating on your 10 meter phone privileges. So regardless of the brand you want to look at, that's a main feature you have to make sure is on that radio if you're going to use it for voice, is upper sideband. The old Radio Shack, I think HTX 100, was a perfect novice radio. It had upper sideband and CW on it. So any mobile radio you look at, a single band radio, that's the two features you need to make sure it's got. Okay. This is another subject that you see a lot of hams pointing out, that they have different radios. And this guy says, I have a 991A, and when I talk to my wife about thinking of another radio being practical, I always come back with, they all basically the same, my 991A, but what am I gaining? By the way, I'm not implying that the 991A is the best radio out there. I just happen to own one. So the question is, what is your mental justification for buying another radio and another radio and another radio? Okay. Several things to think about there. All right. If you look at hams from back in the 90s when I got into this hobby, the Shack in the Box radios didn't exist. So if I had gotten radios back in 91, my HF rig covered 10 through 160. So if I wanted to work 6 meters, I'd have got a separate 6 meter radio. I had a separate 2 meter radio, so on and so forth. Now the 991A is a Shack in the Box radio. It covers HF, VHF, and UHF, just like my 897D does. And you notice my Shack is fairly simple. I've only, until I bought this 701 just out of nostalgia, I run one HF rig. And I'm actually only on my second full-time rig since I've been in this hobby. I'm not a guy that buys a lot of radios. Not knocking people that do that. It's, it's part of the hobby, and that's a good way to, spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. That's why I always try to stress is I will give you advice and I will give you suggestions, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Nobody should tell you exactly how to run your shack. And I know I sound like a broken record saying that, but I see that too much on these social media posts well, you need to do this and you need to do that. If you're not doing this, it's wrong. No, there's no right or wrong answer. Nobody knows your shack, your pocketbook, your capabilities better than you. Now, and I think I've touched on this in another video earlier about some of the answers you get on social media. Uh, I think ham radio operators in a lot of cases was the original keyboard commandos, because before social media, you just got hammered on the air if you said something out of whack. And I got hammered horribly one time on the air. But now with social media, everybody kind of knows about it. That's why I just try to steer people away from snarky answers and NASA engineer answers. It's just try to give somebody the basic information, help them all you can, don't belittle them, and don't overwhelm them with information. That's the worst thing you can do to scare somebody out of this hobby. I know I could tell just as well when I was trying to train somebody to work on some of the electrical stuff I used to repair at the depot before I went back to machining. I could show them a print and they could look at the wires and I could tell in their eyes it was too many wires, that they just could not go to comprehend it because it scared them right off the bat. So don't do that with these new guys coming in. Just try to mentor them best you can and help them best you can. Well, guys, we hit 818. We're going to have another giveaway coming up. About 900 subscribers. May do something before then. I hadn't decided yet. Main Trading Company, Paris, Texas. He's got a ton of used gear. Y'all need to really keep an eye on his website for used stuff, because he's going to have a bunch of it hitting the market here real quick. Cowtown Hamfests, the info will be on here. Texarkana Hamfest in April. Go ahead and put that on your calendar. A tailgate sale, be worth going to. Like I said, everybody, I appreciate you subscribe to the channel. My email's on my QRZ page. Leave me a comment, shoot me an email. I'll try to help you any way I can. There'll be a slide on here about our 10-meter group also. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.